Hello and welcome back everyone to this channel, and today in this video tutorial you will learn about dynamic routing. And here in this tutorial I will take a scenario where I will create or you will create a page, a blog page which will contain a list of blog like a blog 1, blog 2, and exactly we will create a route for this blog page to show all the blogs, and then we will create a route for each blog to view each blog. Okay, which means we will create a separate page for each blog to view the blog, or a route for each blog to view the blog. Now let's start. So first go here in the app folder and create a new folder and call it blog. To make it routable, you need to create a page.tsx file. Now this page.tsx is going to contain a component and we will call it blog list to show all the available blogs. Now give here heading h1 like this and write here list of blog. Now here show the link of the blog that you want to view and write here blog 1 like this, and here we will provide the link. Now import this one link from next link. Now we have another blog which is a blog 2, and here we will provide the link for the blog 2. Let's give a break or insert a line by writing br like this, and now go in the browser. We have created a new route which is a blog, so write here blog/blog and hit enter. Now you can see we have a list of blogs, and when we click on blog 1, you must view this blog, you must be able to read this blog. But right now we have not created this route for this blog 1 and blog 2. Let's create. So what you can do here, within this blog folder, create a new folder, call it blog 1. And to make it routable, create a file page.tsx and create a component, call it blog 1. And now here specify details of blog 1. Similarly, create a new folder blog 2 to make it routable. To make a route, create a file page.tsx and specify RFC and call it blog 2. Right here details of blog 2. Now in the browser we have created a blog 1, blog 2 under this blog root or under this folder. So write here / and blog 1 to access the blog 1, and when you access you can view the details of blog 1 like this. Now if you change this to blog 2, you can view the details of blog 2. Now let's say that you have a third blog and you will create a new folder blog 3. Create a new file page.tsx, then specify a RFC blog 3 and write here details of blog 3. But here is a problem. Let's say that you have 100 of blogs, so you are going to create hundreds of a blog folder like this? I don't think so. So there is a solution in Next.js, and that solution is a dynamic routing, which means you need to create only one component like one folder blog 1, and you will pass each and every parameter to this page, to this folder, and it will fetch data from your database and show the details or render the details on the page. Which means you don't need to create this separate block 2, block 3 root, you can create this root dynamically. So let's go to Next.js website and see. So here you can see Next.js is saying when you want to create a dynamic root or dynamic segment, you need to wrap a folder in a square bracket. You can see here, you need to wrap the folder in a square bracket, like a folder name here, like a ID within this square, like a slug. And also remember that when you pass the parameter and when you pass the ID or any of the thing from the root, which is passed as a params prop to the layout page, to the page.tsx, to the route, and generate metadata. So, which means when you specify here like a block 2 or any ID like a block ID 1, this ID is passed to this component, to this page, to this root as a params, like this. And you can access that ID or you can access that block 1 like this. And let me show you how to do that. So first I'm going to delete all this block 1 and block 2. Let's delete this one. Now after deleting, I'm going to open this page, and the Visual Studio Code side by side for your better understanding. Now let's create a dynamic segment or dynamic route. So Next.js documentation is saying you need to wrap a folder name in a square bracket. So here, this is the blog page, or this is the page which contains a list of blog. So here, create a new folder and wrap this folder into a square bracket and specify any name. Let's say that I want to fetch the detail of the blog based on the blog ID. So I will write here ID like this. Now here you need to create a page.tsx like this. Create a component RFC and call blog page like this. Now Next.js is saying dynamic segment are passed as the params prop to layout, page, and root. So here, this is our page. This is not layout. This is the page. So whatever the parameter that we pass, let's say that we pass 1 from here as an ID, and this one is passed to this page as a params prop. So we can extract that param props or destruct that param props like this params. And here we are using a type script. If you hover here, you can see param is declared, but its value is never read. Params implicitly has any type. So we are going to define the type, what kind of parameter we are passing, from the root block after the block slash. So here we are passing the integer. So here we are passing the integer. So here we need to define the params of type. So right here, which is ID of type integer, int or number. So in Next.js, you write a number. Let's make it a little smaller. So now we are capturing the parameter from the URL like this, and you can view the details here. So details of blog, then specify params.id like this. So let's make this paragraph. Remove this one. Now let's go to browser and see and specify, hit enter. You can see details of blog 1, and now specify another block ID like 2. You can see here details of block 2 and specify ID like block 3, details of block 3. You don't need to create a multiple folder for each block. You need to only create one special folder, and that folder must be wrapped into a square bracket. And that folder is called a special folder because that folder receives the params prop, and that params prop contains your ID that you are passing through this route, like this blog/3 blog/5. And now you can use this data params.id to fetch details from database and render on the page. So using the same concept, you can create a nested dynamic routing. But here I want to tell one thing, that here you have specified the folder name as ID. If you specify here something else, let's see what happened, like a slug. And here specify slug like this. Now go here, write 6. Now you don't see the parameter that is passed. So here we have passed the parameter 6, but we don't receive in this component, in this folder, or in this root. And that is because we have specified here the folder name as ID. So this component accepting params, this params object must contain a ID, but we have passed here slug. And if we change this folder name to, let's rename this to and change this to slug and update it. Now you can see here details of block 6. So here I want to say, whenever you are specifying the dynamic routes or dynamic segments, remember the name of the folder which you have wrapped under a square bracket. So here slug, so here you can see folder name is slug. So I'm accessing that slugs from this params props. You can see here. Otherwise, you will not able to receive the parameters from your route. Now let's recap what we have done. So here you can see, here we have a root localhost 3000 blog, and this root is represented by this section, like this one, this blog and this page in this blog folder. And next we have created /6 and /id and /parameter, and this /parameter is represented by this part of the code, and like a folder in a square bracket, and here we have created page.tsx. So you can nest these dynamic routes. Let me show you how to do that. Let's first erase all of this. So let's say that I want to create a dynamic route like this blog/6/1 like this. So what we can do here, within this slug, we are going to create a new folder and we will call it ID like this, and create a new file page.tsx. Perform the same operations or write the same code that we have done in the previous component and call it a next blog, for example. And here we are also receiving the params. So params, and type is params, and we will call it ID of type string. This time let's call it string, and here we will show details of the next block, here params.id like this. Now you can see here, after 6/ specify the parameter value 4, and now you can see the page details of next block 4. Specify here parameter 10 and hit enter. You can see details of next block 10. This is how you can create a dynamic nested routing in Next.js. So from this tutorial, I hope that you understand how to build a dynamic routing in Next.js, and also you learn what are the params and why it is used, and how to access the, whenever the value is passed from URL to the component, how to access that value using this params, and how to render that value on the page. Like here you can see details of next block 10. So at last I want to say, don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, and thank you.